And in my final video, that can be about anything I want it to be, I'm going to talk about a couple of different subjects that are quite close to my heart and that I haven't mentioned yet. So the first one is that I'm going to talk a little bit more about my identity issues, because I think that the way that I see them is quite interesting, and I don't think that they're very common. But I have fragmented identities that live within me. I don't have dissociative identity disorder to the extent that I don't have amnesiac episodes where I become those characters, but I have had the experience of being inside myself with one of the other characters speaking through me, and they do make currently for me, decision making does involve a negotiation between different personalities that inside me, and I can't, it's hard for me to move forward with the decision if everyone's not happy, which I know sounds completely insane, but I kind of wanted to put that out there because I'm actually a very rational person. I've been a very high functioning person for most of my life, and I think people find there's a lot of stigma around admitting that you have things like this. So I just want to say, I hear voices, I hallucinate, I have different identities that live inside my head. But I'm not dangerous. I'm not, I can lose touch with reality, but I'm also very capable. I'm also, I can also do a lot of things, and I need help and support, but I'm not, like, there's no, crazy doesn't exist, and people, I think that the thing I'm really passionate about is breaking down the stigma and showing the world that people like me, who for 29 years completely hid from everybody, even my closest friends and family, that I had any mental health problems, despite the fact that my mental health problems were quite severe. And, I even lied to myself about it. And most of that was because of shame. Because I had been told, and because I felt, and because society told me, that an intelligent person like me shouldn't struggle with emotional stuff. I should be able to understand it, and that's what I'd always been told. And my emotional development was in fact stunted because of things that happened in my life, and because, I don't know, it just was. And I think if more people felt comfortable to say that they had had these kinds of experiences, if there was less fear of being labelled as crazy and dangerous because you hear voices sometimes, or hallucinate sometimes, or question reality, or have strange magical thinking, or or the way the way I conceptualize what other people might conceptualize as different emotional parts of themselves, I conceptualize as actual individual characters with names and different favourite colours, and they argue inside my head, and sometimes I can't think straight because they're arguing too loud, so I have to kind of mediate, and yes, that is different, but it's not crazy. I'm a perfectly rational person. I'm interested in politics, psychology, philosophy, art, music, theatre. I read a lot. I love literature. I maintain a blog. I maintain a Facebook page. I've got a PhD. I'm able to research complicated topics and understand data and statistics. I can, I can be a very rational person, but I also hold you might describe as irrational and delusional beliefs. So I think it's really important that we acknowledge as a society that those things can coexist in one person. And the second thing I want to talk about is art and creativity and how important that has been to my recovery. So when I've always journaled and I've always been an artist. I did study art before I studied psychology, but when my mental health really started to deteriorate to the point where I was becoming non-functional, I started keeping an art journal, and I would just draw my feelings, and that grew into a communicative device between myself and my therapist, and myself and my friends and family, and it slowly grew to where people were asking me to send pictures when I drew new drawings, because I wasn't very able to, because of the shame and because I didn't have an emotional language to use. I found it very difficult to communicate with people as to where I was or what I was feeling, but I could draw it. So I started doing that. And then so many people were asking to see them, I ended up setting up a private Facebook group to share it with, because emailing them and texting them to people was just unmanageable. And then I was like, well, people can either, they might have just been being polite and saying email them to me, whereas they can look at the Facebook page or not. Anyway, that grew to the point where people kept asking me could they show my work to other people, and because it was a secret private group, they couldn't. So I made the terrifying and brave decision almost exactly a year ago to go public with it. And my Facebook page is now public, and all of my artwork is now on my blog website, which I update regularly with new work, and I've become lots and lots more confident with that as well, because doing it has helped me become more confident in doing it. And I found that the more I share, the more other people feel comfortable to share back, and that's what I want. That's what I want to achieve. I want to help destigmatize mental health. I want, when I'm better, I want to be an advocate. I want to be a positive influence, but not necessarily as a therapist or something, but I want to help people who don't understand what it's like to have mental health conditions to understand about it, and to understand that it is a very normal human thing, and it's not like it's made out to be in TV and stuff. And I guess I've grown more and more confident, and through that's led me to now I've very recently started actually writing on my blog, because I didn't have the words or the confidence to do so initially. So I think I just wanted to say that, like, the fact that my therapist really nurtured my creativity has helped me grow in a lot of ways, both therapeutically and outside of therapy, and has also made me see what might be the right career path for me, because I was definitely on the wrong one before. And now it's built me the confidence. I've had a few articles published in various things, and that's huge for me. Like, I never would have had the confidence to do anything like that. So I think, the message I want to give is, if your client has a passion, then try and bring that into your therapy with them, because it could be really enriching, both for the therapeutic process and for the client's overall well-being and outcome as a whole. So I think that's all I've got to say on that.